is green. We are away for 10 minutes here in heat race number 1. James Smith pulls us away from the very front of the field. Stephen Hurd from second, and it looks like there could be some issues for Jared Swaim there. A little bit of blinking. If Swaim disconnects here, that will go hugely in Riley Downey's favour. Drivers get past, but that looks like Jared Swaim is officially out of the race. Off the track goes race D2 leader then, Richard Edgar. Anders Hagland moves into the D2 lead. One has just gone off, and it's Lazarus Smith. That is him out. Look at the damage in James Lazarus Smith's car. What has happened over the chicane? We'll watch the start of that lap. Race leader James Lazarus Smith out of heat race 1. Pole to the, just holding the lead, and he will be out. It's over the curbing, way too much curbing. A huge hit as they come up the chicane. Where is this going to happen? It looks like actually it wasn't a mistake. It looked like it was just pure pace as we watch almost an entire lap of a replay. Why does it send us so far back? But here he goes, and it looks like that was a slowdown for Ian Lane, because he pulls over to the slide, definitely gives that position up as James Lazarus Smith goes purple after repairing his car. Ahead of Nagel, makes a mistake at the chicane. This is the final lap of the race. Through goes Nagel, and that is a wide line from Jürgen Nagel, serving a slowdown penalty. Stephen Hurd is going to win heat race number 1 here at round 11. We are green, we are away. Vukovic from the lead. He was half a second quicker than Cod in the qualifying session. As this race begins, Riley Downey tucks into third with Jared Swaim disconnecting in heat race 1. He just needs to take a good result here, and a win would definitely be a good result. Peter McIntyre, huge mistake for the man looking to move up in the championship in D2. He's down to the back of the field, down to 4th in class here. He's off. He's second in class right now behind Van der Herk and behind Malone. In fact, he is battling with Van der Herk up towards the hairpin. Can the D1 driver get it ahead of Joel Swaim into the final turn? He certainly can. Here comes Matt Neal to try and get involved as well on the exit. Joel Swaim goes wide, but he does get a good exit out of that one. Was Matt Neal to get the inside of the hairpin. They run side by side. They swap positions, but who is going to come out ahead? Matt Neal gets the position right now, remaining quite within about 0.8 of a second to Milan Vukovic. There could be an opportunity for Cod there as McIntyre gets to the inside of Matt Neal, makes that position work for him. Of heat race 1 with a disconnect, Riley Downey can take full advantage here, but that being said, Mark Cod off the circuit ahead. Is Downey going to try and do something? And Cod slides! Cod, huge slide. Downey on the outside here. They're side by side. They don't need to be. Mark Cobb backs out, lets Downey through, but exit as John Cook gets past Riley Downey. Riley Downey giving those positions up because Joel Swaim was doing something. I'm trying to see here where Joel Swaim moves down. Here we go. Between them at the moment, but here is a fight as Swaim looks up the inside of Peter McIntyre for second in class. Matt Neal gets involved. Matt Malone is somehow involved in all of this as well. He is not here for class positions, but here comes Matt Neal to the inside of Joel Swaim. Both of them going extremely wide up towards turn number 1. They get through without incident and they settle themselves down right now in class, and Matt Malone in the middle of them right now, and off the track goes Joel Swaim. Here comes Matt Neal to the inside. Neal also looks to the inside of Matt Malone. They're side by side. Somehow there's no contact and they continue through. Matt Neal and Matt Malone side by side. This is allowing Peter McIntyre to pull away in second in class as Philip Van der Herk and Ralph Aero swap positions for 5th and 6th. Matt Neal gets past there, up towards turn number 1. Van der Herk to the inside of Aero. He's still looking in between Aero and Van der Herk. Van der Herk has closed in. Both of them onto the gravel. Van der Herk much more so though, and will be losing time over Aero as we go through the final turn. That's Vukovic winning the race ahead. Cook will finish ahead of Cod. Downey will win D2, and Ralph Aero will hold on to Van der Herk. And we are green. We are away here at Knockhill for feature race 1 here at round 11. Drivers head up towards turn 1. Hurd leads Vukovic. Drivers behind, going side by side down the hill, but it looks like we're going to keep it all clean on the first few corners. Battles towards the back end though, as well as driver off the circuit there. That was Ralph Aero. Another look at Timothy Rosenfeld. Do turn 1, losing the rear end down the hill, nowhere to control it. Slides the car around and will have to recover this season. Joel Swain, huge hit for the man at the back of the field, and he hits into the wall. Looks like he's already got some damage to the front of his car. What happens as he comes through onto the brakes, and he goes straight on a lockup straight off the circuit, but due to actual racing, as that is a big hit as we jump towards Ralph Aero, who was off the circuit there fighting with Lazzik Smith up towards the chicane. This is where Lazzik Smith went off in heat race 1. Onto the gravel, a slide straight off the circuit, a big hit with the wall for Aero, broken suspension before he even hit the wall again. That as many was points on offer for race result in that feature race 2, more for bonus points. Right, in towards turn number 1, Vukovic behind Stephen Hurd as they go down the hill. Okay, looks like it's still about 3 tenths a second. Both of them onto the gravel this time. A little bit of two-wheeling there from Vukovic, and then both of them at the top of the hill. Look how close Vukovic is behind now. He is going to look to the inside. Hurd broke a little bit earlier. They're still side by side. A little bit of gravel, but nothing to slow Hurd down. And Van der Herk, Downey's not too far off of that either, but he won't get involved, and that's a wobble from Van der Herk, from Vukovic, as he dives at the inside of Stephen Hurd and takes the lead. Hurd looking to switch back, taps on the brakes. He can't get up the inside in time. Didn't want any contact. Thomas Boone out of this race. Onto the gravel goes Henriquez. He goes back up to the leading fight. Not able to be involved in it though, as he touches that gravel, slows himself down again. He's to the left-hand side now. Vukovic on the tighter line, as that's Cook looking for Henriquez behind. Vukovic getting a nice run through the turn, but Hurd certainly has the speed. Vukovic goes defensive up towards turn 1, but they are going to be side by side up towards turn 1. Hurd brakes earlier, looks for the exit over, trying to run side by side through there. Joel Swain has been black flagged, will have to visit pit lane for a penalty. Drivers Cod, Lane and Van der Herk into it as well. Lazzik Smith did make his way past Riley Downey, but here comes Van der Herk to the inside of Ian Lane. Lane breaks earlier, looking for the exit here to try and make his way back past Van der Herk. Lights flashing from James Lazzik Smith behind. Ian Lane tucks behind once more to Van der Herk, looks to the inside. It's a bit too far to make a dive from there. So this is a fight. Mark Cod up the inside of Clayton McBuller. There's contact, and Philip Van der Herk is going to take full advantage of that. Gets past McBuller. Will he be able to get past Cod as well? No, but he tucks in behind Cod, ahead of McBuller. McBuller, a huge disadvantage in that contact there. And here comes Lazzik Smith. Pure red livery this week. It's confused me. Stop changing your liveries near the end of the season, as Lazzik Smith looks to get past McBuller here up towards the hairpin. Lazzik Smith on the outside here, as that is Cod straight on at the hairpin. Through goes Van der Herk, McBuller and Lazzik Smith. What just happened to Mark Cod as we head up towards the hairpin? It looked like a lockup that sent him straight on. It was. It looked like he was trying possibly to serve a slowdown, locked up, got on the grass, and served a lot more than the slowdown was asking him for. Here, Fort McBuller, and just different racing lines. Lazarus Smith gets to the inside and makes that move through, and he will hold 6th now. There, as Milan Vukovic crosses the line and will win. Oh no, the way that he's weaving, surely that is a slow down penalty for Lazarus Smith across the line. See, and it is. It's going to be 3rd position Joel Swaim who takes the pole here from that 3rd place spot. It is 20 minutes on the clock. And then the lights are going to go out. We are green here for the final race of the day. Joel Swaim will be the leading driver off of the line. Driver from pit lane there. It looks like, yes it is. That's Peter McIntyre. He's starting from pit lane, as that's already Jared Swaim moving into 2nd position in this race right now. That's exactly what he needs. It's going to be Riley Downey down in 6th in class. Contact with Ralph Aero though. Ralph Aero pushing hard. Can't do anything right at the moment. Timothy Rosenfeld looks up the inside of Matt Malone. A lot of gravel in the background. There's contact between Rosenfeld and Malone. More contact. And that is the front bumper damage from Rosenfeld, but they settle themselves down. Through goes Jürgen Nagel. Here comes Matt Neal as well. And as Rosenfeld up the inside is going to be able to hold any of those positions. He's got Anders Haglund just behind as they come through the final hairpin. Jared Swaim and Joel Swaim, have swapped positions at the very front of this one. Who is going to try and take the position? It is going to be Lazarus Smith. Dives at the inside of Timothy Rosenfeld through the final turn. Gets that position and moves into a podium in D1. Vukovic have moved to 9th in class right now. 15th overall. Luis Henriquez is out of this race after the start of this one. Stephen Hurd, fastest man on track right now. Black flag for Mark Codd. He is 5th in class, 10th overall. Will need to visit pit lane as Matt Malone jumps up the inside of Joel Swaim, who's already lost position to Ralph Aero. That's Jürgen Nagel now under attack from James Lazarus Smith. Lazarus Smith flashing his lights, gets up the inside. That invites Timothy Rosenfeld in as well. There's contact sideways from Rosenfeld. More contact. A huge hit with the wall. He comes back on, is avoided as he toes. But that was a big amount of contact. It was just a small tap with Nagel. And through the chicane they go, but it's going to be contact! As Malone gets the gravel. Lazarus Smith had nowhere to go. Malone skidding across in front of him. Goes around in front of Lazarus Smith. Just a minute bit of contact. And it sends Malone down the order. Malone now got Downey and Haglund behind. Downey to the inside of Anders Haglund. This will be for 3rd in class. Riley Downey needs this for the championship fight. Jared Swaim leading this race, of course. Matt Malone involved in this one, just pulling Haglund ahead. But who is going to take the better line through turn 1? As Downey's got the inside of Haglund. There's contact! Haglund off! Downey saved! He remains on track and will be 3rd now in class with Haglund no front bumper. A really good amount of speed from Lazarus Smith. Looks to the outside of Ralph Aero and just hangs it around the outside. I have not seen a better move all weekend over that one. That has got to be the best move of the weekend for sure. 4th in D1. Scott Matt Malone and Riley Downey fighting ahead. Riley Downey is going to be offline here. This is not what he needs, as he wants to try and catch up to Joel Swaim to get into 2nd. Rival Jared Swaim leading the way, but that is Stephen Hurd up the inside as well. Riley Downey now getting quite a few D1 drivers between himself and Joel Swaim for 2nd in class as we head on to the brakes up at the hairpin. A mix of drivers across course. Riley Downey backing out of that one, going slightly wider. quickly as he did last week in feature race 2 in the wet. But he looks up the inside to try and take the podium in D1 from Matt Malone. He does it. Matt Malone going for the wider run though. Is he going to go for the exit here, as well as a number of D1 drivers at the moment? Matt Malone slides a little bit, moves to the right, is slowing down. Has he got a slowdown penalty perhaps? It certainly looks like it, because he has just had to give up the position to Hurd and to McBullough. And here comes Riley Downey possibly to get involved as well. Now, we've not seen Downey fight the D1 drivers before. That is what matters. McBullough going for the move past Hurd. Hurd off the circuit. That'll be a slowdown for sure. Through goes McBullough. Matt Malone to the inside. McBullough onto the gravel. Hurd on the outside. Malone on the inside. Makes it through. McBullough leads. Malone leads. Hurd onto the gravel once more. Riley Downey swings to the inside to try and get that position. He doesn't want to give up any time. Lazarus Smith without some sort of mistake from Lazarus Smith. Vukovic, though, is going to go up the inside of Ralph Aero. There's contact, both of them onto the gravel. Vukovic moves through, though. Ralph Aero flashing his lights. He is not happy with that move, understandably. Contact between the two. Let's have another look at that one as we come through. Whose fault was that? Because both drivers, Vukovic was very firmly planted up the inside in that fight. Very firmly. And it was just I think that's a racing incident. They've just been caught onto each other in that contact. I'm going to call that one a racing incident from my viewpoint here, as Riley Downey gets past Joel Swaim up towards turn 1. Can he hold that position? Yes, he does. Off the track was Ralph Aero. Aero off the circuit. Comes back on. Loses the position to McBullough. McBullough now into the podium places. Here comes Matt Malone. Up the inside of Aero. Into the hairpin. They're side by side. Through goes Matt Malone. Stephen Hurd and Ralph Aero side by side now. And Aero, after being forced off the track, runs off the track in his own accord and is now in a gaggle of cars for the first time this race. Up towards turn number 1. He's got Stephen Hurd up his inside. A little bit of contact between the two of them as they go through turn number 1. Aero is going to be pushing hard. Is he going to look up the inside of Stephen Hurd? Yes, he is. And he returns. Back up to 5th. And Hurd goes around in the background. Into the wall. Heavy hit. That's John Cook off as well. Was there contact? Was it just a slide? Contact behind with Van der Herk. And more contact with Ian Lane. Cook just trying to avoid. Battling for 4th and 5th in class as well. So both 4th and 5th in D1 and D2 currently in a fight. Malone gets the gravel though. That is going to invite an opportunity for Van der Herk up the inside. Philip Van der Herk moves to 4th, but he's then on the gravel. Matt Malone behind. As they nudge each other, Matt Malone sticks behind it. Is he going to go for the inside up towards the hairpin? He looks to the outside. He brakes a bit earlier. And he doesn't go to return that move. Swain, we go on to the white flag lap. James Lazarus Smith leads, and that's Richard Edgar around at the hairpin. Recovering from outside the top 10 in the reverse grid. He's moved through the field and he will win. Vukovic does not win all the not-kill races of season 2, but he will cross the line in second, and Jared Swain wins Division 2. Hello everybody and welcome to the virtual Oschersleben circuit here for the final round of the iRacing Renault Clio League here for season number 2. It is going to be a nail-biting event because we have a championship fight ongoing in the Division 2 field. Only 4 points separate championship leader Jared Swaim and second place Riley Downey. We'll talk more about where those points lie and how each of them can win in just a moment's time. But before we do that, let's have a look at the Division 1 Championship, which has been decided, and it was decided really early doors, for Milan Vukovic, who has dominated Division 1 this season and has won Division 1 well before we got to the final round of the season. 205 points clear over Stephen Hurd. Luis Henriquez has a real chance here to take home third in the championship. No Harry Fox in the last couple of rounds of this season. Van der Herk, however, is on his toes and will be looking to try and take third away from Henriquez. No Matt Malone here this week on the final round, which gives John Cook an opportunity to take home 6th in the championship, but he's got to hold it over McBuller, Lane and Cod, who are all just moments behind in the points standings. The Division 2 Championship. This is the one that we are going to be looking at because the championship contention, Swaim, Downey, just 4 points between them. Anders Hagland moves past Edgar for third in the championship though, and Nagel is right there as well. Championship fights all up and down the top 10 inside the Division 2 Championship. Anthony Hilton has not been here for the second half of the season. He's slowly moving down the order, gives McIntyre and Gould an opportunity to get past here. And can Matt Neal get past Zach Tebow in the championship? That's going to be the question I'm looking at the moment, and there is no Matt Neal in the server, so we might not see any change towards the bottom end of the Division 2. However, it is the top of the Division 2 that we are going to be looking at here, because between Jared Swaim and Riley Downey, there is only 4 points between them, and they have drop points to spare. So essentially the 4 worst heat races, the 4 worst feature 1s and the 4 worst feature 2s are dropped. These are the points that will be recovered if they finish lower than that position in each race. So in your heat races today, both drivers, if they finish lower than 4th in class, will recover the 5 points that they took earlier on in the season, and today's heat race will become a drop race. In feature 1, a lot more points on the board for Riley Downey. 14 points on the board if he finishes lower than 6th in class, and there are 6 points on board if Swaim finishes lower than 10th in class. However, there are only 8 D2 drivers today, which means that those 6 points will not be recovered, and it will be new points on the board from Jared Swaim in feature 1. Feature race 2, more points on the board for Jared Swaim. If he finishes lower than 3rd in class, he will gain the 14 points back. If Riley Downey finishes lower than 6th in class, he will regain 8 points. Now, it's not possible because of there only being 8 D2 drivers in the class, but if all of them were to take these points away from today's race, then Downey would lose the championship by just 2 points. So I have got a notepad in front of me for the first ever time in these broadcasts that has all of the points that are on offer across this weekend, and we are going to do our absolute best to try and keep up with the overall points between the 2 drivers as the race continues. So I am going to be doing some live maths as the races go on, more towards the end of each of the races. But with Jared Swaim sitting on 382 points, and with Riley Downey sitting on 378 points, this fight is going to go all the way down to the wire. And it is a fantastic circuit choice for that to happen, because we are here at Oschersleben and we are running the shorter course as well, which has always provided some absolutely amazing racing. In fact, during the mini season, I managed to win a race here around Oschersleben in the wet in that reversed grid race, holding off Timothy Rosenfeld to the win. And that just tells me that these reverse grids can do absolutely anything. So can the rain that we have seen throughout this season. Today, however, I think to the relief of a lot of our drivers, the clouds look nice in the sky. There is not a drop of water that is going to fall across this event, which means that we are going to have 4 very dry races coming your way. Qualifying about to begin in just a couple of minutes time. If you are new around here, we are broadcasting the final round of the Renault Clio League here for season number 2, but we also are broadcasting the Matt Malone Patreon League and the next gen Mazda MX-5 Cup as well. So be sure to hit that follow button so you are notified when we go live and you don't miss a single one of these events. If you want to have a look back at how this season has gone so far, including watching all of the extended highlight videos such as the one you saw during the downtime between the Matt Malone Patreon League and the Renault Clio League, then be sure to head across to our YouTube channel where you'll be able to see all of the extended highlights as well as the full broadcasts that were streamed live as well. With 2 minutes left in this practice session then, let's have a quick look at how our drivers are doing, particularly how are our championship contenders doing. Jared Swaim, second fastest in class, and Riley Downey, third fastest in class. So if that was the case through qualifying, Jared Swaim would gain an additional 2 points and Riley Downey would gain an additional 1, increasing the gap between them to 5 points. It is going to be an ongoing maths tally as I keep on going here to try and keep an eye on how this championship is going to do. But with 1 minute left in the practice session, running around the circuit at the moment, it is going to be easy to run off the circuit and get an instant point. Now that does matter because in the heat race and feature race 1, if you can do both those races without any instant points, there's an additional 3 points on the board. You get 1 bonus point in the 10-minute heat race if you get a 0x race. You get 2 bonus points in feature race 1, that 15-minute race, if you get a 0x. Now, if you get a 0x in feature race 2, you can get 5 bonus points, which could be incredible for the championship. In feature race 2, if you get up to 4x, you could get an additional 2 bonus points. In that feature race 2, you really want to go for positions gained. 6 bonus points on offer if you gain the most amount of positions in class, 4 if you gain the second most amount of positions, and 2 if you gain the third most amount of positions in class. And that is going to mean something. So keeping an eye on these bonus points in addition to the race results is going to be something we're going to have to do and really try to work out where the points lie here. We may go out of the end of this weekend not knowing who the championship leader is until everything is calculated because of bonus points. I'm going to do everything that I possibly can. Those bonus points are going to be harder for me to calculate with the instant points in particular. So we're going to see how it turns out. Now, qualifying is underway and we can see Jared Swaim and Riley Downey have made their way out into their car. They're not yet out on track. Jared Swaim is out on track though, so we will follow him around and we will see how he does around the lap here in Oschersleben. 6 minutes on the clock here. 2 laps just like in an official session. We cut off from the main full Oschersleben course and we rejoin again. This is a fantastic layout in the Renault Clios. We are looking at the D2 championship leader Jared Swaim 4 points clear of Riley Downey. We head up towards the final 2 corners. We're going to ride on board with the 724, and we are going to see what lap time Jared Swaim is able to put in here. He comes out of the final turn and heading up now towards turn number 1. It's going to be heavy on the brakes. We're going to see opportunities here during the race to make the overtakes. It's going to be who is willing to stick it up the inside and risk it for the position. Over the curbing, stays away from the yellow sausage curves, but he loses the rear end, and that is a slide. And this is going to be a slower first lap for Jared Swaim. He comes out of the hairpin, no, that long swooping right-hander and through towards the left now. Keep it in tight towards the curbing. You want to swing it back across to the left because you're about to cut off from the main course. You're going to through the right-hander and back onto the main course once more. Now, you can easily get 2 wheels on this part of the circuit if you just take it too much up the inside and get that orange sausage curve, staying very much away from them. It's easy to get an off-track there. That's gravel. Will it be an off-track for Swaim? We will have to wait and find out. But that is where I expect a lot of people to pick up off-tracks along with that penultimate turn as well. This lap time already going to be down the drain for Swaim with his slide at turn number 2. But what will it be an overall lap time? Riley Downey comes out. This is his first lap. Swaim goes a 1:11.4, but it is not a valid lap, so he certainly did run off of the circuit as we now watch Riley Downey. Stephen Hurd goes to the front of the field, the only man with a lap time on the board right now. Here comes Edgar and Hadland. D1 drivers are your red background drivers. D2 drivers, your blue background drivers there, so you can notice the difference between the 2 classes. We watch Riley down here on his opening lap. Jared Swaim invalidating his opening lap. He is going to need to find time on the second lap to be able to place it ahead of Riley Downey. Of course, bonus points on offer here with in-class positions for your top 3 qualifiers in class. Joshua Lloyd goes the fastest D2 driver at the moment. He's 5th overall. Up towards the final turn. What can Riley Downey do here through the final turn on his first lap? Jared Swaim just a little bit behind on track on his second. What will this be for Riley Downey? It's an 11.0. It's only 4th in class as Jared Swaim takes 1st in class on his second lap. That's 3 bonus points going Jared Swaim's way right now. Here comes Riley Downey. Can he find lap time? He needs to find lap time. Lazark Smith, the fastest out there at the moment, 0.2 faster than Hurd. And Vukovic. Vukovic might find himself in Heat Race 1, but not on pole position here. Rosenfeld gets in a time. Gwilym gets in a time as well, as most drivers now with times. Neil Rocks, the only driver without time. That being said, he's just placed in a time. Ian Lane improves to 6th, but here comes Riley Downey. He needs to beat a 1:10.384. His current best is a 1:11.0. He is almost the slowest overall. He comes through the final turn. Can he find that time? A 10.384 to beat. He kicks up a little bit of grass as he comes back onto the circuit. Is it going to be enough? It's a 10.373. Riley Downey takes it. He's pole in class and he knows it. Flashing the lights, he beats Jared Swaim to pole in class. That means that 3 bonus points go Riley Downey's way. He sits on 381 points. 2 bonus points goes Jared Swaim's way. He sits on 383 points. 4 points. My maths is already terrible. There's now 3 points between the 2 of them. It's down already from qualifying here. This championship fight in Division 2 down to the final round. Every point counts. Not just positioning on track, but the 3 bonus points heading Downey's way outdoes the 2 heading Jared Swaim's way. Qualifying comes to a close as into pit lane comes Riley Downey. Everyone has completed their lap times, and we will get the grids up in just a moment's time once we head across to the first heat race of the day. That being said, Riley Downey will start heat race 1 from pole position in class. Jared Swaim will start heat race 2 from pole position in class. Both of them have the opportunity to win their heat race and take 10 points each. So the heat race separating them into different classes here means that they can both take maximum points out of this one. Of course, both of them, if they finish lower than 4th in class, they will take 5 points. But looking at it, the lowest they can finish in class is 4th. So no matter what, these drivers will be taking 5 points home. No matter where they finish, they'll be taking at least 5 points. Right, checkered flag is out here in qualifying. That session is over, and we are going to prepare ourselves for heat race number 1. Let's get that up then so we can see how heat race number 1 is going to start. It's Lazek Smith out on pole position ahead of Vukovic. Cook will start in 3rd ahead of Gwilym, and there is Riley Downey, pole in class ahead of Neil Rocks. Matty Quidlan will come behind, followed by Timothy Rosenfeld. Swaim and Nagel are at the back of the field in class. What that does mean is that Riley Downey has 3 D1 drivers between himself and anyone else in class. So unless he goes terribly, terribly wrong, he should be able to control this 9-lap, 10-minute race and go on towards that championship lead with 10 additional points. Of course, after heat race number 1, he will take the lead in the championship, but that's because Swaim is not racing in this one. We are preparing ourselves for heat race 1. 10 minutes on the clock. We are missing Vukovic from the grid. Championship winner in the D1 class is not on the grid. It gives a lot of drivers some opportunities to gain some points here. Not on Vukovic. He has won the championship in class. As we head up towards turn number 1, drivers just settling themselves down. 9 cars out here for heat race number 1. We'll see all the drivers out together in feature race 1. But right now, they're just settling themselves down on this opening lap, and they go one behind the other, and they sort it out right now, as this is James Lazek Smith. He won his first race at the Knock Hill round last week in feature race 2. Can he take a heat race 1 victory? He took pole and was leading heat race 1 before throwing it into the barrier at the uphill chicane back at Knock Hill. But there are still opportunities to throw it into barriers here, including this corner here. If you take that sausage curb just a bit too hard, that one too, you can get 2 wheels, you can throw it off. Right, clean racing means a lot, especially for this man here, Riley Downey. He has an additional bonus point on offer if he gets a 0x. Now, I'm going to calculate with and without the bonus points so that we can try and figure it out, but that is definitely going to be contact for Riley Downey, so that bonus point is out the window. Here comes Matt Gwilym around the outside. Downey does not need a fight. He does not want to fight. As Downey goes extremely wide, he lets Gwilym through, lets Neil Rocks through as well. And it looks like he might tuck in just ahead of Matty Quidlan. So still got Quidlan and Rosenfield between himself and Swaim and Nagel here as they come through towards the cutoff. The drivers settling themselves down right now. The fight going on behind is Swaim. This is Joel Swaim, not Jared Swaim, looking to try and get past Rosenfeld. They are in 2 separate classes, but they are more than welcome to fight. They just won't get any additional points from overtaking anyone in class. What Swaim wants to do is 2 things. One, as he gets up the inside of Rosenfeld, and can he make this position stick? They're side by side as we go on towards the pitch straight up towards turn 1. Rosenfeld is going to have the inside line here. and will be able to hold the speed up ahead. Swaim trying to tuck behind, has to wait all the way until the breaking point. But what Swaim wants to do is two things in this race. One, he wants to put Rosenfeld between himself and Nagel, who is fighting him for second. The second thing Joel Swaim is going to want to do is try and displace Riley Downey and knock him down out of the lead of this race by taking the lead himself, which will help out Jared Swaim. Towards the cutoff now then, and you can see the gap between Rosenfeld and the car ahead, about 1.5 seconds. So it's certainly looking like Swaim might be out of touch with Riley as we're heading up towards already the halfway point in this race. The fight going on at the moment. There's 7/10 between Lazarus Smith and Cook. There's also Gwilym and Rockside now, and then behind is Riley Downey. Downey's got Cridland behind, but we've seen Downey in the races past. He does not fight other classes too hard. That's Riley Downey down pit lane. He's forgotten to fuel up, I think, because there's no penalty for Riley Downey, but he's down pit lane. Riley Downey, championship contender from the lead. Is he going to pull over for pit stop here? He is. Riley Downey has not fueled his car for the race. He was fueled for qualifying, and out he goes. But Riley Downey will return to the track. He will take third, but this is Jared Swaim's opportunity now in Heat Race 2 as Downey hits the wall. If he hadn't already lost his bonus point, he certainly would there. That looked like it might be an unsafe exit, however, for Downey. It could be a penalty heading his way. It doesn't look like it is, though. But Riley Downey, from the lead of the class, that's what he needed to take the championship. He's down to third in class. And that means that right now he will be gaining just 6 points. He could lose 4 points to Jared Swaim if Swaim wins his heat race coming up next. That's Matt Gwilym going wide through turn number 2, gets it back onto the racing line on the exit. However, Cook trying to chase up towards Lazarus Smith. Lazarus Smith keeping it out of the barriers this heat race, in the lead of the race. Can he take it all the way to the end? At the end of this one, we'll be looking at about 3 laps to go. Riley Downey 27 seconds off of Nagel, but with Swaim and Nagel fighting out for the win here, could something happen between them? Because they are now fighting for the win, and Nagel will want those points because he is in his own championship fight, slightly down the D2 order, but still within inside the top 10, so he's going to want to get any point he can as well. And right now, Nagel trying to chase down Swaim, half a second between them. It is the closest 2 cars out on track. But what an error, and Riley Downey may have gone from bad to worse. No, this was his pit exit again. As he just goes by, he skips and hits into that wall and he exits. That was him exiting the pit lane a little while ago. And it just went wrong for Downey. This is the fight for the lead of the D1 field with Downey down and out. Nagel 2/10 behind Joel Swaim here. Could try and move for the lead of this one if he is able to. Just find an opening would be enough here to stick his nose up the inside, run alongside and try and force an opening. He is still just a few tenths behind, looking for an opportunity if he is able to. Looking at, I can see when drivers go off track, I've just noticed, so that means I can see if drivers are going to be getting any off track and instant points, which is good to know. Yep, that is very good to know as well. As this lead fight in D2 continues, I mean, Downey will definitely have his fingers crossed that these 2 cars do come together and there is some sort of incident here, because there's 4 points on the board here. Here comes Jürgen Nagel to look to the inside of Joel Swaim. How is Swaim going to do this? Is he going to go for the fight? Is he going to take it easy? He takes it easy. No, he doesn't. He actually sticks it in. I think that's because Nagel was trying to take it easy. Both drivers trying to take it easy. Is Swaim just backing out because of where they were racing, or because he knows what's at stake if he takes out Nagel in some unintentional contact? That could be what's going through Swaim's mind right now, helping out Jared Swaim's championship hopes as well. But at the same time, Swaim doesn't really have much in the way of championship fights to look to, because he has not been here all of the events, unlike Jurgen Nagel, who will want this win because he will want the full 10 points that are on offer here. I'm trying to have a look. Nagel, if Nagel has gone off the track, he has, so he's also not going to be gaining any bonus points out of this race. Through the penultimate turn we go, though, as we head up towards the 8th lap of this race. 2 more laps to go here in heat race number 1. We got heat race 2 coming up shortly with the other half of the field, and then they will all be down together for the first feature race of the day. Feature race 2 is where it is at, though. 20 minutes, everyone down on track, and a reverse grid of at least 15 drivers. But for the last few weeks, it has been an entire field that has been flipped. So let's see how that might affect the championship fight in the D2 class, because surely it will, as we head up towards our braking zone here. And the gap now has opened up to almost a second between Nagel and Swaim. Jurgen Nagel en route to take victory. Riley Downey showing that he has got pace over these drivers, because he has closed that gap of 27.5 seconds to 25.5 seconds. But it's just not going to be enough in this race. It's being such a short 10-minute race. A shame for him for getting to fuel up the car. An easy mistake to make, but it could have just cost him the championship. But it is not over. The points on offer in the feature races, with the differences in the points as well, could bring it all back together. The bonus points as well could also bring it all back together. Lazek Smith is out front here in the number 4 machine. He took his first feature race 2 win last week. He will take his first heat race win here if he can just keep it on track for the next 6 corners or so. And he has done a great job at pulling out a huge 2.5 second gap here. It was a shame that we did not get Vukovic down onto the track for this heat race. It would have been great to see Lazek Smith and Vukovic fighting it out, because we're yet to see them properly duke it out on track together. Vukovic hopefully will turn for feature race 1, and we'll see him getting himself up the order and towards the fight once more. Through the penultimate corner goes Lazek Smith. Through the final turn goes James Lazek Smith. He will win here at Oschersleben in Heat Race 1 for his second victory of the season. Jurgen Nagel will win Division 2. And down and out, having to pit for fuel, Riley Downey, he will still take 6 points to his name here with that 3rd place finish. No bonus points, as he did get an incident point for running off the track earlier on. Riley Downey sits on 387 points. If Jared Swaim was to finish 4th in class, which will be the lowest I believe he will be able to finish in class, he will be ahead by 2 points still. That was not what Riley Downey wanted, though. Let's have a look at our results from heat race number 1 here very quickly. From heat race number 1 then, it was Lazek Smith ahead of Cook, Gwilym, Rocks, Quidlin and Rosenveld. Then it was the D2 drivers of Nagel, Swaim and Downey, and Vukovic not starting that one. Our grid then here in heat race number 2 will be Hurd ahead of Henriquez and Lane, followed by McBuller, Swaim and Lloyd. Then it'll be Edgar, Hagland and McIntyre. No, there are 5. There are 5 D2 drivers in this race. If Swaim finishes in last here, he will take the drop points back, and he will take 5 points, which will still put him 2 points ahead though. 10 minutes on the clock. We are green and we are away here. Stephen Hurd from the front of the field. 4 D1 drivers in this one. 5 D2 drivers, and it'll be Jared Swaim that we are going to be watching to see what he can do as we go up towards the first turn here. Jared Swaim up the inside. He's got the 4 drivers in that class with him behind. Edgar moves up to 3rd in class right now as we continue on through. It does look like Swaim has held the lead. He has. This is what he needs. If Swaim wins here, he'll take 10 points and he will be 7 points clear of Downey in the championship. It will be 8 points if Swaim can do it without instant, but that is Ian Lane around at the hairpin. Ian Lane has gone around. He recovers now. Let's see what happened through that hairpin. It looks like just a little bit of contact from behind, and it was contact from McBuller, and around goes Ian Lane. The D2 drivers caught up in that. There definitely was a bit of bunching. Could that have been a 1x? If it was, or even a 2 or 4x, it would knock Jared Swaim away from getting bonus points. I'm keeping an eye out to see if Swaim will lose any, get any instant points, as Anders Hagland tried to hold around the outside of Lloyd. Lloyd definitely, you can see on the straight, he had some sort of issue. It looks like possible suspension damage. Lloyd runs off the circuit there. I think that is suspension damage for Lloyd, as that's now McBuller. He's giving the position back to Ian Lane. It is overall position P8, but in class, McBuller was 3rd in class anyway. He slowed down to give Ian Lane 3rd in class, and McBuller drops down to 4th in class. Again, that is an extremely nice thing to do for McBuller. He had no need to do that, but knowing that he was in the cause for the incident with Ian Lane, he's decided to back down and just have a fight with Lane at the back for the final position on the podium in class here in the second heat race of the day. Jared Swaim leads the way, and he has a nice gap of 2 seconds over his closest class driver. So right now, Jared Swaim is looking to take full points, and I keep on looking over to the side. I have not seen Swaim's name pop up for an off-track, which is key. It's just whether or not he got any instant points in the accordion effect instant with Ian Lane. Right, up towards the left hand and out, as this is the battle for second. Anders Hagland wants to do well here, because in the championship he is doing an extremely good job of moving up the order. He'll want to keep that way. Richard Edgar will want to try and get past, as will McIntyre as well behind. Joshua Lloyd now 5th and last in class right now. Will he be able to get back up towards this 3-car fight for the podium or not? We are 3 laps down as we head up towards the final 6 laps, as that was Edgar wide off the circuit. Through goes Peter McIntyre. That will be a slowdown as well for Edgar. Running off there, you do get a slight slowdown if you're not careful, and that's certainly what would have happened there. That gives Hagland a little bit of breathing space ahead now, but the gap between the leader in class of Swaim and Hagland is now 3 seconds. Keep on looking over at the right-hand side. Swaim has kept it on circuit all the laps so far. So he is looking to take 11 points out of this race, where Riley Downey only took 6. Luis Henriquez is currently the fastest man out on track. He's got a 109.706 to his name. He is looking to try and get up towards Stephen Hurd. Hurd was about a quarter of a tenth slower last lap than Henriquez. That gap maintaining at about 1 second at the moment as we head through the middle part of the circuit. Can all the drivers stay on this time? They certainly do. That gap now to Swaim, 4 seconds. Swaim has got a huge amount of speed here. Once Swaim and Downey are together on track, it'll be interesting. But right now, with Swaim being 3rd overall, he'll be starting feature race 1 from about 6th place, I think. whereas Riley Downey will be starting feature race 1 from about 15th, 16th place. So he's got a lot of work to do if he's going to want to beat Jared Swaim on track, which is what he's going to want to do. It's what he needs to do. Obviously, a lot of bonus points on offer in the final race. There are up to 11 bonus points on offer in feature race 2. Whereas there is only 20 points for a win. So what does he go for? The bonus points or the win is the question when we get towards feature race 2. We're over halfway through this race now. This is the fight that is ongoing for second in class in the Division 2 Championship. We've got Anders Hagland in second in class ahead of Peter McIntyre. You've got Edgar behind, followed by Lloyd. You can see Ian Lane has got into the back of this fight as well. So trying to get involved, looking back across, and still Swaim remains without an off-track right now. Through the final turn they go, and that to about off-tracks. Anders Hagland goes on to the gravel. That's going to give Peter McIntyre an opportunity to the right-hand side. Richard Edgar is going to follow McIntyre on that wider line. What is Anders Hagland going to be able to do as Peter McIntyre swings it around the outside? He'll keep it. There's a little bit of a lock-up. Here comes Edgar to get up the inside of Hagland, and he is going to be able to keep his nose in. It's all about the exit now. Who does Joshua Lloyd follow? He's going to sit between the two of them. He can't quite pick whether he wants to go inside or outside. He ducks to the inside. A bit too late, though, because Ian Lane was there. Joshua Lloyd, Ian Lane come together. That moves McBuller back into third in class. Ian Lane down to fourth in class, and Joshua Lloyd remains at the back. But Edgar still over the back of Hagland here, looking to take third in class if they are able to. Over the sausage curve, just getting a bit of two wheels there as everyone gets through. Once again looking across, and it is still no off track for D2 leader Jared Swaim. He is still on track for 11 bonus points. 7 seconds now to second in class of Peter McIntyre. That was Jared Swaim in the bottom left of your screen, just disappearing out of shot. This is the fight, though, for the rest of the positions in class. McBuller is behind Edgar. McBuller with the yellow-topped car there, that red and yellow car. He is not in the same class as these drivers. Edgar is not going to want to let McBuller through, because it means he's not going to be able to go for an opportunity on Anders Hagland here, as we have got 3 laps to go, including this one. And right now, McBuller does stay behind this fight for third. It could once again return to a fight for second if Anders Hagland can close up that half a second ahead. As up the inside goes McBuller on Richard Edgar. A little bit of contact on the exit, but McBuller moves through. Richard Edgar falls down, and that means Hagland should be safe in third now. Can Hagland do anything? No, he's not, because he goes off onto the gravel. McBuller to the outside. Hagland has to give him room. Will he just let McBuller through? He has to. And once again now, Hagland is going to be under attack from Richard Edgar for third position in class as we come across the line for the penultimate lap now. Where will Richard Edgar go? Is he going to follow behind or look to the inside? He ducks a little bit to the inside, then falls back in line. That turn one opportunity only really works if you are fully planted on the either side, the inside or outside, and that just wasn't happening for Edgar. So he sits behind Hagland right now in this fight for third in class. It's all going to be about the last lap, I feel, between these two drivers. Lloyd is once again back into this fight as well. Also has an opportunity to take third, as that's a slightly wider line from Hagland. And here comes Richard Edgar up the inside. Edgar takes the position. Hagland backs out of it, lets him keep it. And now onto the gravel ever so slightly from Edgar. Edgar is on the bottom step of the D2 podium. Can Hagland return to it, or is Joshua Lloyd going to get involved and take fourth away from Anders Hagland here? Hagland, after fighting for second in class, is fallen all the way down now and is under attack for fourth in class from Joshua Lloyd. Ian Lane at the back of the field. Is he going to get involved in this white flag lap with the D2 drivers ahead. It doesn't look like he will into turn one. As a wobble for Joshua Lloyd and just avoids Ian Lane. But Lloyd around once more, and Anders Hagland is protected in 4th place. Will he be able to move back up to 3rd? I don't think he will. It's just a bit too much. Ian Lane looks up the inside. As here comes Stephen Hurd here in Heat Race 2 to take the win once again, to solidify his 2nd place in class in the championship. Stephen Hurd comes through the final corner and will win here. Luis Henriquez will take 2nd, but Jared Swaim, just what he needs, takes full 10 points for the race win and 1 bonus point for no incidents. If he didn't get caught up in that accordion effect, of course. I'm calculating both without and with the bonus points. Let's have a look then at the results of heat race number 2 as that one comes to a close. Stephen Hurd wins that one ahead of Luis Henriquez. It was Jared Swaim who took home 3rd ahead of Peter McIntyre, who took home 4th. Swaim and McIntyre 1st and 2nd in class. Clayton McBuller took home the final podium place in class, and Edgar his final podium place in class. Hagland finished 4th in class ahead of Ian Lane, 4th in class, and Joshua Lloyd at the back in 5th. Let's have a look then. All drivers will be out on track for feature race 1. It is James Lazick-Smith starting ahead of Stephen Hurd, Cook and Henriquez. Gwilym from 5th. Championship contender Swaim in 6th place overall. Neil Rocks will start in 7th, Adam McIntyre. Cridland in 9th, Adam McBuller ahead of Rosenfeld and Edgar. Then it's Nagel, Hagland, Swaim, Lane, Downey in 17th overall ahead of Lloyd. And Vukovic, after disconnecting heat race number 1, will start this one from the back of the field. But that is going to mean a lot. Jared Swaim 1st in class. Riley Downey looks like he is 9th in class. However, if he finishes lower than 6th, he will pick up 14 points from a previous drop race, and he will drop this one instead. But he's going to want to try and move up the order and fight Jared Swaim. He is going to be hoping for possible issues with Jared Swaim perhaps in the lead. Of course, all 19 drivers preparing themselves. It looks like we might not actually see Vukovic grid up again in this one, which means we are going to have 18 drivers out there on track for feature race 1. This is our first race of the day with all of the drivers out on track. It is our 3rd race of the day with our heat races included. We've still got this race and one more to go, a reverse grid heading your way for feature race 2. But it is 15 minutes on the clock here for the first feature race of the day. It is where most points are on offer for race results. And it is going to be away we go. Jared Swaim from the lead of D2 and Riley Downey from 7th in class. We head up towards turn number 1. Lazick-Smith leads the field out front in towards that first turn. Are we going to remain all clear? No, a bit of side-by-side, a little bit of bumping and banging, but it looks like we do remain all clean and all facing the right direction out of the first turns here around Oschersleben. The back of the field still going side by side. Riley Downey has not moved up any positions towards the back. In fact, he's looking to make his first move past Joel Swaim if he is able to. There's contact ahead, Swaim and Hagland, and here comes Riley Downey to look up the inside in this first feature race of the day. He moves to the inside line and he gets into 6th in class, and right now he is tied with his worst result that is being, with his best result that is being dropped right now. So at the moment he will get 14 points his way, but he looks up the inside of Hagland and he looks up the inside of Nagel. A little bit of contact there. Nagel Nagel looks to get back through, can't do it, but Riley Downey is pushing hard. He moves into 5th in class right now as there's fights going on up ahead. It looks like McBuller holding on to Cridland in towards turn number 1. Ian Lane trying to find a way up the order, but can't do it at the moment, stuck towards the back, as Jared Swain does hold on to the lead in class. Right now, that would be 25 points heading his way. But that does not necessarily mean he'll get the bonus points, but 2 bonus points on offer for 0x in this one. I don't think Riley Downey is caring about those 2 bonus points because he is pushing hard and going for any move that he can. If he can get past Nagel and Edgar, he will move into a podium position here. He'll get 20 points. That's Nagel off the circuit. That gives Downey the position. Downey now 4th in class. Richard Edgar is the next driver out on track that he will need to try and overtake, and that will be for 3rd in class and for 20 points. It is then a bit of a move up towards Peter McIntyre, who has D1 drivers between himself and 3rd in class. Right now, however, I am still watching what is going on with Downey. He's a little bit off of this fight up ahead. Couple of cars wide. That's the 404 of Peter McIntyre, who was 2nd in class, onto the grass. That's great news for Riley Downey, because he no longer has to overtake as many D1 drivers. He only has to overtake Timothy Rosenfeld once he gets past Richard Edgar. In fact, Rosenfeld moves past McIntyre. Here comes Edgar on the outside of Peter McIntyre. Riley Downey is now in with a fight for the top 2 in class. As we continue on through, can Riley Downey do it, or can Jared Swain just do it with doing all he can with leading the race? Swain moves past Cook up front though. He's placing more cars between himself and those around him. Riley Downey has Edgar and McIntyre right in front of him. He needs to make his way into 2nd place here. And I am looking once again. Jared Swain has got an off track in this race. He will not get any bonus points that are on offer, which is 2 bonus points on offer for a 0x race, as here comes Edgar to the inside of McIntyre. Through goes Downey. Downey's going to try and make it 3 abreast as we get onto the braking zone. He moves into 3rd in class, but he's up the inside of Richard Edgar. There's a little bit of a nudge, but not enough to cause significant contact. He's stuck on the outside. Edgar's going to hold on to 2nd, but Downey's going to switch back to get up the inside. Riley Downey, 2nd in class in the championship. Now 2nd in class in the race to Jared Swain. Only 3 points difference between the 2 of them with their current finishing results. But what that will mean is that Jared Swain will have an 11-point lead going into the final race of the day if it finishes this way. What Riley Downey needs is some issue to befall the race leader in class, Jared Swain, and knock him back towards here, Riley Downey in 2nd in class. Right now, however, Swain just taking it easy behind Matt Gwilym. Is he going to just take it easy, actually? Is he going to push for it? Is he going to make the smart choice here? He knows that these overall positions mean nothing for his championship. What he needs is to win the race, and if that means just taking it slightly easy, not pushing with these drivers around, he's got about a 3-4 second lead over Riley Downey, and he's got 5 cars between himself and Riley Downey, so it is absolutely easy to just sit back here. Of course, if there's an issue ahead, contact or anything going on between Henriquez or Gwilym, it could put Swain into a spot where he gets involved in the fight. But right now, he is safe leading the way. Riley Downey doing the most that he can at this point in time. He's 2nd in class. I think it's going to be impossible without an issue for Jared Swain for him to move up the order. Of course, this all goes back to Heat Race 1 with Downey forgetting to refuel the car after qualifying, having to come down pit lane and put in fuel into his machine. I can see in the background there that Nagel trying to fight past Hagland, but we are going to have a look towards the race lead here. It's James Lazarus-Smith leading Stephen Hurd. We are about halfway through what is going to be a 13-lap race here on feature race 1, and at the moment Lazarus-Smith is doing a great job at continuing to hold his lead over Hurd. It's a shame that we have not got Vukovic in this final round of the season. He was in qualifying, of course. He just did not grid up for heat race 1, and he has not gridded up for feature race 1. We have got fingers crossed that we'll see him for the final round in feature race 2. As we come up towards the penultimate turn here, 0.4 of a second between these two drivers out front. Riley Downey has closed the gap up to Timothy Rosenfeld to about 0.6 of a second, but he is going to need to do a lot more than that if he is going to try and take the win away from Jared Swaim. I think it's just a bit too far, but he still has Richard Edgar just half a second behind, so he can't back off, he can't ease up, he can't just take it easy at this point in the race. Here comes Nagel to the outside as Hagland goes defensive on the inside up towards turn number 1. They are in fact side by side here as we go into turn number 1. Nagel's got the lead, but it is going to be contact, and around goes Jürgen Nagel, and then contact, more contact with Anders Hagland. They're both around, and Anders Hagland down to 8th, Jürgen Nagel down to 7th. It was inevitably going to happen there with the way that they came into that corner next to each other. Just a small bit of contact, and then the way the corner works just went out to Anders Hagland. Unfortunately, just a bit of racing incident going on between the two of them, with that being such a tight corner and such a hard one to get through. As we return back to our live pictures, we've got Jared Swaim here, got Cook Rocks just behind him here. Now, Swaim, if the Cooks and Rocks are going to push him, what is he going to do? Is he going to fight to defend those positions and keep the D2s all between himself and the others, between himself and Downey more than anything, or is he going to just let them through? That being said, talking about letting through, Timothy Rosenfeld not wanting to get into a fight with Riley Downey, has just let Downey through, which means Downey now only needs to get past Cridland before he's en route to catch up to that pack following Swain. But that gap is about 3 seconds ahead, which I just think is a bit too much to pull back here for Riley Downey as we head into what will be the final 5 laps next time around. Not impossible, but certainly difficult. As we keep on watching, I cannot see if Riley Downey has actually gone off track here. I don't think he's gone off track, so he hasn't. So it would just be whether or not he's had contact this race. Now, he's had a few aggressive moves, but I would say nothing that would warrant more than a 0x. So there is a possible 2 additional bonus points heading Riley Downey's way. Now, like I said, this race we might leave today's event not knowing the win in the championship because of these bonus points, but there could be 2 bonus points coming Riley Downey's way if he keeps it on track and does not get any instant points in this race. 2 bonus points in this 15-minute race compared to the 1 bonus point in the previous race. Of course, with the bonus point, if Swain did get the bonus point from the heat race, he will sit 8 points clear of Downey. Without that bonus point, he'll sit 7 points clear. With this race over, Swain will not get any bonus points. Downey could possibly get 2, which would push Downey up to 24 points compared to Swain's 25. So it'll only be 1 additional point lost here, which actually will still put Downey in a good position for feature race 2, especially with the reverse grid. Swain will have to move past a number of D1 drivers, to move himself up towards Downey, and I'm sure Downey will be fighting a lot harder than he has in previous races with the D1 drivers around him to keep himself ahead. Depends on how he approaches that race, of course. Both of them still in it with the championship down towards the back though, but it looks like Nagel is once again looking for an opportunity to overtake on the outside of turn number 1, and it looks like this time Joel Swain backs out of that, allows Nagel to have it. Probably saw what happened last time Nagel went around the outside and has decided he doesn't want any part of that. This is the fights up at the front. It's still about half a second between Lazarus Smith and Hurd. Lazarus Smith has kept his pace today. Hurd not letting him run away, but has just not been able to close that gap either. Just keep on looking across towards the timing line to see if Riley Downey will still be receiving those bonus points. And at the current stage, like I said, I cannot see incident points. I really wish I could see incident points, but I cannot see incident points, but he has not ran off the track. It will just be the contact that I'm not 100% certain on for Riley Downey. He comes out the final turn though. Has he got a slowdown? It looks like he has, because he moves right to the right hand side. Through goes Timothy Rosenfeld. Will that be Richard Edgar through as well with that slowdown? No. But Riley Downey now once again under pressure with Richard Edgar behind. Did Riley Downey go off track? It hasn't popped up saying that he went off track. So surely that was a slowdown within track limits. That was him pulling over the side. Can we get any further back to see where that slowdown might have been picked up from? To the final corner perhaps? He's already on the brakes. No, it would have been even earlier than that. That's where the slowdown got picked up. Over the curbing, outside of the white lines. That's where the slowdown would have been picked up for Riley Downey. However, it did not count as an off-track. He never touched the gravel. It was just a slowdown for him. What he does have, though, is 5 D1 drivers between himself and Swaim. Now, in this race, there's nothing he can do to beat Swaim to the win in this race. But for feature race 2, it'll place a number of cars between himself and Swaim. So Swaim will need to get past all the D1 drivers and all the D2 drivers, whereas Downey will only need to overtake all of the D2 drivers and then Ian Lane, of course. So there is an opportunity here in feature race 2, but the class position gains is what's going to matter here. Riley Downey can gain 7 class positions. Jarrod Swaim can gain 8 class positions, which will give them 6 bonus points and 4 bonus points respectively. All depends on their starting place in class, which will be last and second to last in class, of course. And then, well, that's if it's a full reverse grid, which I believe it will be once more. And then obviously it'll be depending on what other drivers are able to do in terms of their finishing positions. But Downey and Swaim will be on chance with those bonus points that could decide the championship right now. Through the final turn we go. James Lazarus Smith crosses the line for the white flag lap. He is 4/10 clear of Stephen Hurd now. Can Hurd do anything on this last lap to pile on the pressure on Lazarus Smith and force an error? The gap closing down through that first couple of corners there. Downey and Rosenfeld swap positions once more. As Rosenfeld went off circuit, I believe that would have been then a slowdown for him. Protects Riley Downey now as we continue on through. It is one additional driver that Downey will have to overtake though, as Ian Lane seems to have found his way off the circuit at the first turn. Carrying a bit too much speed and yet just throwing it off onto the grass for him. Back up towards Lazarus Smith though as we end the lap. Lazarus Smith, he wins heat race number 1. Stephen Hurd wins heat race number 2, but it'll be Lazarus Smith who will win feature race number 1 here and our penultimate race of the season. Lights flashing from Hurd, but Jarrod Swaim doing all that he can. He will win Division 2 here. Jarrod Swaim will take full points of the default points, no bonus points for him. Riley Downey crosses the line in 10th place overall, second in class with bonus points if... But no, that's going to... Downey, that's going to count. The race had not over. That was counting, so no bonus points on Downey's behalf. He must have already got incident points. The fact that he involved himself in that wreck, which means 25 points heading to the way of Jarrod Swaim will put him on 400. I'm doing this quickly. 420 points if he took the bonus point in race number 1. Otherwise, it will be 419 points. With that result, Riley Downey will be on 309 points. There is 11 points between the D2 championship leaders after that one. Let's have a look at how the result lined up after the end of feature race number 1, with Lazarus Smith taking the win ahead of Stephen Hurd. Oh, that's the grid. That is not the result. Let's find the results to that race, and it was Lazarus Smith still taking the win over Stephen Hurd. Luis Enriquez took home 3rd ahead of Jared Swaim, who won his division. John Cook took home 5th overall. 4th in class had a Mac Willem, McBullough, Rocks and Cridland, and Riley Downey took 2nd in class. Timothy Roosevelt took home 11th overall, with Richard Edgar 3rd in class ahead of McIntyre, Lloyd and Nagel. Ian Lane finishing 16th overall ahead of Joel Swaim and Anders Hagland, and once again not gridding up at the start of the race was Milan Vukovic. We will be back in just 1 moment's time for feature race 2, and it is going to be an absolute fantastic one, because we have an 11-point gap between Jared Swaim and Riley Downey. With the reverse grid, Downey should be starting about 6 overall places ahead of Swaim. 1 class place. Now, that with this race, if Swaim finishes lower than 3rd, he will get 14 points reinstated to his name from an earlier race. Downey only has 8 points that can be reinstated if he finishes lower than 6th, which means Downey is going to need to win this race. If he wins this race, that is only 6 points, which means he will either need a 0x race for the 5 bonus points, or he will need to overtake the most amount of cars from his starting position to take home 6 bonus points here. This championship fight is going to go down to bonus points over the over the actual race results, because with the actual points on offer, Downey cannot win. He has to win with bonus points. It's the only way Downey can actually win this championship, because even if Swaim was to retire this race, he is going to get 14 points to his name. The maximum that Downey can do is 20 points to his name, and that is only 6 points difference, and he needs 11 points difference. So, with all of the other races done, we are preparing ourselves for one last time. The final round of the season, the final race of the season. And it will be a full reverse grid. Let's have a look at what the grid is going to line up like for this final race of the season. Vukovic will start from the very front of this field, ahead of Hagland. Swaim will start in 3rd overall, ahead of Lane. Nagel in 5th, and Joshua Lloyd in 6th. Of course, we might not see Vukovic actually down on the grid. He has not started any of the races so far today. McIntyre will start in 7th ahead of Edgar. Rosenfeld from 9th ahead of Downey. Cridland will start from 11th, and Neil Rock. So Downey starting from 10th overall. McBullough will start from 13th. Gwilym from 14th. Cook from 15th, and Jared Swaim, with his rival in 10th overall, will start in 16th overall here. Henriquez in 17th, Hurd in 18th, and Lazarus Smith in 19th. Now, important to note here, as I try to get our cameras angled, Downey is starting P 7 in class. Swaim starting P8. That is going to mean something in this race because of the overall points gained. If Downey was to win, he can gain 6 positions here. If Swaim was to finish 2nd, he would also take home 6 positions. But I think because he would be behind, that actually the 6 bonus points would go in Downey's direction other than Swaim's. I am trying to do maths on the top of my head whilst also commentating this race. It is going very, very badly indeed. But right now, 11 points is the difference between Riley Downey and Jared Swaim. Downey starting from 10th on the grid overall. Swaim from 16th, but with it looking like no Vukovic again. No Vukovic and no Neil Rocks. Rocks starting 12th overall, be one less driver for Swaim to overtake. 20 minutes on the clock. We are green and away for the final time this season here at Oschersleben as we head up towards turn number 1. Hagland leads the way up towards the first turn ahead of Swaim. Lane in the leading the D1 field as we go through. Are we going to be going for clean racing? It looks like Swaim trying to avoid contact here. If you can get this race as a 0x, you can get an additional 5 points. If it's 4x or less, it's 2 bonus points. 20 minutes on the clock right now, and Riley Downey is 5th in class as we continue on through, trying to stay out of any instance that might be occurring. Side-by-side racing going on behind at the moment, but it looks like Matty Goodland is the only driver to have gotten off track on this lap so far. Jared Swaim is going to be involved in a little bit of contact. Swaim involved in contact. He's forced off the circuit there. He will not get the 5 bonus points for clean racing, and he falls down a couple of positions overall as we come now through the final turn. This championship is still going Swaim's way. Riley Downey needs to find some positions. He has found himself into 5th in class right now, 6th overall. Of course, Swaim's result right now, he will still take 3rd position points, 14 points, because that is his best of his drop results. Ian Lane looks up the inside of Joel Swaim just up ahead to take 2nd overall. Anders Hagland continues to lead the way here. Riley Downey is down behind Matty Quidland, but will now look up the inside. Or is it? No, sorry, no, he's not. It's because my live timing is not in order of positions. Riley Downey moves past Joshua Lloyd and takes 4th in class. This is what he needs. He needs these points. He needs to keep on moving, and off the track goes Anders Hagland. Ian Lane avoids, goes to the lead. Joel Swaim now leads D2. Riley Downey is looking through, and he's going to want to try and do something. Downey has not yet gone off track, so if he's not got any contact either, he's going for 5 bonus points as we head up now towards the end of this one. As we come through the hairpin, I really hope that Ian Lane can jump into the chat at the end of this one and tell us the incident points for each of the drivers so that we are able to work out the full bonus points. Nagel looks up the inside of Hagland for 2nd in class. It invites Downey in now. Is Downey going to look up the inside of Nagel? Yes, he is, through the cut through. Downey to the inside of Nagel for 3rd in class. He does it. Jared Swaim now, he knows he's getting points for 3rd. Is he going to go for any bonus points? Because right now he has not gained any positions in class. He is not going to be the biggest mover. There's more contact behind. Luis Henriquez off along with Timothy Rosenfeld. Because right now Anders Hagland's bonus points are going to equate 11 points in itself, which means in 3rd position they're going to be tied. No matter the incident, they could be tied here with the overall with the instant limit, sorry. So if the instant is 0x for Downey, and if Swaim gets no bonus points for instant limit in this race, it will be tied on points. Here comes Downey though, up the inside of Hagland. He's going for overall position. He wants to win here. Issues behind, but Downey to the outside of Hagland now, trying to take 2nd in class as that's Richard Edgar around. Huge crash behind. Number of cars off there. Black flag for James Lazarus Smith. Downey goes past Hagland. No contact. He has to take it easy. He's definitely not got any instant points at the moment. Off the track goes Mr. Anders. Through goes Riley Downey. Anders Hagland behind Jürgen Nagel as well now. I'm looking here and it still looks like it is a 0x for Riley Downey. Very possibly. He's into second in class. He's only got Joel Swaim to get past. How is Joel Swaim going to treat this? If Riley Downey was to catch up. Right, that race has settled itself down. Let's see if we can figure out what on earth happened here. Slide from Lloyd. And then just more contact behind. Cars being sent across everywhere and just a whole gaggle of cars going into that one. Let's see if we can have an aerial view of that incident as Hurd gets past McBuller. Yeah, it's just a tight part of the circuit, and unfortunately all the cars coming together there. Riley Downey though, 1.5 seconds off of Joel Swaim right now. If Downey can take the win, right now I think he is on chance for 31 points. Whereas Jared Swaim at the moment is on target for 16, which will give Downey the championship. Without those 5 bonus points for 0x race, Downey, if he wins here, will take home 26 points. Swaim will take home 14. With where he is in the race, he has moved himself up to 5th, but he will stay 14th. He might take a couple of bonus points for gaining positions. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be a close one. I'm going to have to figure it out at the end of this race. Like I said, I really hope that we can get Ian Lane into the chat to let me know about instant points in each of the races so we can figure out those last bonus points. As Lane is currently running around at the front of this field. So he's doing a great job as Timothy Rosenfeld has left the race. And DNF, there's more contact behind, and it's going to include Jared Swaim. Swaim around and off. He loses no class positions. But he will not get any bonus points this race from instant limit. Could be from position gained, however. He has gained 3 positions, which I think will give him 2 bonus points. As I keep on looking at those bonus points. And when did Riley Downey do that? Riley Downey, in all of this, has moved into the lead of the race. That happened very, very recently, actually, whilst we were looking at everything going on with the behind, with the contact. It looks like it's happened at about the same time. Yeah, there's the contact behind, and here goes Riley Downey up the inside. Downey is leading the D2 field. Downey is taking maximum points here. I believe he is still at 0x. Riley Downey right now is taking the full 31 points that he can possibly take from this race. Jared Swaim is not. That's all I can say right now as Nagel gets up the inside. If this was the result, let's see if I can figure out how many points would be on. Downey would be on 340 points with the results going the way it is. If he is in fact on a 0x, without the 0x, without the incident bonus points, he would be on 335. Let's figure out Jared Swaim here. He's going to take home 14 points for finishing in 3rd from a previous race. That'll put him on 434 points. The bonus points could do it all for Jared Swaim here, because right now, without the incident bonus points for Downey, he will only win this championship by 1 point. I need Lane's input into incident numbers in each of the races here. In fact, we will be able to see them once the race is over. We'll be able to have a look at the race results. That is what we're going to do. We will figure this one out. We will figure these results out on stream. We will. We want to know. Because Downey is leading this race. He has not had the best of weekends after needing to pit during Heat Race 1 after forgetting to fuel up. As Matty Quidlan moves past Anders Hagland, he has taken full advantage of this reverse grid that Jared Swain has just been caught up in instance and has not been able to take advantage. Here, as we come through the cut through, this is Jared Swain. He sits 12th overall. It's 5th in class. He won't take the points for 5th. He'll take the points for 3rd. James Lazark Smith has had some sort of issue towards the back. Well, he is at the back of the field. He's running quite slowly, and he actually comes down pit lane after winning Heat Race 1 and Feature Race 1. Lazark Smith comes down pit lane, but you can see there's definitely some damage to that car. Has there been an instant earlier on in the lap? It looks like there may have been here. Oh, as he just misses the turning point. Interesting. Lazark Smith not going as well in the second race. Swain has got D1 drivers ahead of him. He has got 3 D2 drivers behind him here. But there's no point for him to fight these D1 drivers except to catch up to the other D2 drivers. The only way that he can get to those D2 drivers ahead is by going past these D1 drivers or hoping that they make it past them. This is the back of the D1 drivers at the front here. It's Anders Hagland. He's got Matt Gwilym just behind. Will Gwilym go for the overtake? Not just yet. We're just over halfway through the race now in this 20-minute last race of the day. Ian Lane is leading the way. Here comes Anders Hagland to look up the inside of Joel Swain. They're fighting out for 3rd in class right now. Lazark Smith came down pit lane to serve his black flag. That's what that was, coming down pit lane. No, he came down pit lane afterwards. He'd already visited pit lane for the black flag, and then he came back down again for some potential damage, perhaps. Richard Edgar behind him now, though. Jared Swain, fastest man out on circuit right now, as he comes through looking to try and do anything, but there's nothing he can do. He's the fastest man out there. Unfortunately for him, no bonus points on offer for being the fastest man out there. He needs to position, not the fastest lap. He goes to the outside of Clayton McBuller. McBuller just keeps it on the inside line. Swain, nothing he can do. He's going to dive to the inside. He can't do it. McBuller goes defensive. Who is going to win this championship? It is anyone's guess right now. As I look over, I still cannot see Downey's name on the incident tracker on the right-hand side for going off track. I believe he is still remaining clean. Out front in class. Off track, however, just up ahead was Swain. That's Joel Swain. Up the inside now looks Hagland. But Gwilym now, side by side with Hagland. Will Gwilym be able to get past Swain as well up towards turn number 1 there, side by side? Jared Swain in the background looks up the inside of McBuller as well, as Jared Swain makes that move past McBuller. Up ahead, Swain stays ahead of Gwilym. Hagland back in this one now again. This could lead to something that could help or hinder Swain behind, because this is the fight that goes to 3rd in class. Jared Swain, though, not able to find anything. If he can get up to 3rd in class, it will still be 14 points, but it will be bonus points for position gained. He gets past Luis Henriquez. Jared Swain now, move past Henriquez won't be position gained. It's class positions, of course. He looks to the inside of Cook. There's not an opportunity there. We head up towards the last 5 minutes of this race. Swain looks to the inside of Cook to try and get that move. Can't do anything just yet. Once he gets past Cook, he could fight Hagland for 4th in class. This is an incredible fight for the championship that we thought was done after feature race 1. The gap just being 11 points seemed too good for Joel Swaim, but it was too good to be true. Swaim has got past, Jared Swaim hasn't got past John Cook yet. He tried to again make his way towards the inside, but there's just nothing he can do from that far back. Oh, here goes Cook though, looking to get past Hagland, and it's opened the door for Swaim. Swaim up the inside of Cook. Jared Swaim moves to 9th overall and is now behind Anders Hagland, but he has to go defensive on Cook. Cook getting aggressive as well, but Swaim being as aggressive as he can. He is fighting for a championship. Every position matters. Can he do anything past Hagland here? And that's Hurd getting up the inside of Joel Swaim. He does. Joel Swaim's not going to fight Jared Swaim, surely. And that should put Jared Swaim onto the podium. 14 points in his name. He was already going to get those points anyway. However, this should now be an opportunity to get possibly 4 bonus points from position gains here. Side by side behind is John Cook up the inside of Joel Swaim. Can't do anything there. 4 minutes left on the clock. About 3.5 laps to go, including this one. Jared Swaim stuck on the outside of Stephen Hurd there. Moves it once again to the outside. Will try the switchback. Surely can't do it. Hurd plants it on the apex. Swaim keeps it on the outside though. Will try to get this overall position. It's more contact and he backs out of it. And he holds on to 7th overall, but here comes John Cook. Up the inside, into the penultimate turn. Through goes Cook. Swaim down the overall position. Henriquez gets up the inside of Joel Swaim now. Joel Swaim just needs to defend the D2 drivers behind. Keep Jared Swaim protected out front. As Joel gets back past Henriquez. As we continue to look here up towards turn number 1, and it does look like Henriquez is going to try to the inside as once more, and that is Joshua Lloyd, I believe, around behind. Side by side here from McBuller and Hagland. McBuller up the inside, will be the inside of Joel Swaim as well. Swaim just needs to defend. Anders Hagland, keep them behind here, keep them going slowly as we get through the cut through. As McBuller stays ahead of Hagland, that's good news for Joel Swaim right now. Jared Swaim, 3rd in class, he'll take home the 14 points, but what are the bonus points on offer here for both drivers? I'm going to have to rework this out after the race. For their overall, for the Division 2 Championship, which we will use the official results for to figure that out. Edgar is down and out of this race as well. As we continue on through, the drivers now settling themselves down as we're in the final 2 minutes, the final 2 laps. We finally have a look at our race leader, our overall race leader, our D1 race leader of Ian Lane, looking to win the final race of the season. Riley Downey looking to win the final race of the season from D2. That was Lazarus Smith between them. He's a lap down from the lead. But is it going to be Riley Downey or Jared Swaim here who is our champion? Because it's all going to come down to the bonus points, I believe. Particularly the bonus points for incident counts. That's what's going to matter here. We will be able to see the incident count at the end of the race. Right, white flag will be out. Or will it? I think this is the last lap. White flag isn't out. However, I don't think Lane can get around the lap quick enough for it not to be white flag. Jared Swaim holding on to 3rd in his class and should do that nicely with about a even 2.5 second gap down to Joel Swaim, who's doing a good job of backing up the drivers behind and giving Jared Swaim a little bit of breathing room in class. With 15 seconds on clock, this should be the last lap of the race as Ian Lane comes through for the final race of the season. It's been a phenomenal 40 races. No, 48 races. And through the final turn we go. Ian Lane wins the 48th race of the season. Riley Downey will win Division 2, but will it be a championship? Will it be a championship? We have to look at the official race results to work it out. Across the line, Jared Swaim takes third. Who is going to take the championship? As the rest of the drivers come to take the checker, Peter McIntyre will be the last across the line. Let's have a look at the race results here from the final time of asking this season before we try to work out what our championship results will be. Winning the race then, Ian Lane, and winning D2, exactly what he needed to do, Riley Downey. Matty Quidlan took home third overall, second in class. Nagel, second in class for him. Matt Bullen takes the final podium position in D1 at Hurd and Cook, and Swaim took the final D2 podium position. Luis Henriquez took home 9th overall ahead of Joel Swaim. 11th overall will be Clayton McBullough ahead of Hagland, Lloyd and McIntyre. Lazark Smith, after winning the heat and feature race one, will come home a lap down in 15th overall. Out of the race with Richard Edgar and Timothy Rosenwald. Right, with the race decided, with the event completed here, what is the results going to be? Let me get this across to the side because we do have the official results, so I can figure this out now on bonus points. Okay, coming into the weekend, Joel Swaim was on 382 points, Riley Downey 388. Downey got 3 points for being on pole position in class. Swaim got 2 points for being second in class. Right, heat race number 1. Downey, down and out, 3 incident points. Will not get any bonus points for that, but will get points for finishing third in class, which will be 6 points coming his way, which will put him on 387 after the heat. Heat race 2. Swaim, 4 instant points. Does not get bonus points in that first heat race. Got 394 points out of the heat races. After feature race 1, Swaim winning the class, 8 instant points. No bonus points for him, but he will take 25 points, which will put him on 419. It'll put him on 419 points. Downey finished. Where did we say he finished? He finished second in class. Did he get bonus points? No, 6 instant points. He'll just get the 22 points. That puts him on 409 points. 10 points between them going into the final race. This is what matters now. Feature race. Riley Downey, 1 instant point, which means he will gain 2 bonus points to put him on 411 before gaining 20 points for winning the race, putting on 431. He gained the most amount of positions, 6 bonus points. Riley Downey finishes the season, in my calculation, on 437 points. Let's look at Swaim. Swaim finished third in class. It's the second. So let's work this out. Swaim, would he have got any bonus points? 12 instant, no bonus points. He finished third in class. It's 14 points, which puts him on 433. 4 points behind Downey. Will he get No way. By my calculation, by no means official, however, by my calculation, Jared Swaim and Riley Downey finish with 437 points each. By my calculation, they have just tied for the D2 championship. After 12 rounds, each driver competing in 3 races each time, they are tied with 437 points due to bonus points, pulling Downey back into it at the end. But that is, of course, an unofficial end to the championship standings, because I have done those maths purely based on what I can see and what I'm figuring out through those race results. But I do believe that Jared Swaim just gained the second most amount of positions in his race, in his class, which gave him 4 bonus points. So yeah, with no additional bonus points, that is astonishing. We finished the final round of the championship with our 2 D2 championship leaders tied on 437 points apiece, with all of the bonus points and drop weeks being reinstated that were on offer. That is an astonishing way to end the championship. Official championship results will be out before the end of the week, before the end of next week, of course, and you can check those out over on the Clio Discord or on beehivebuildbroadcasting.com/Renault Clio once they are confirmed and official. That is fantastic. Just posted on Discord. Let's have a look as they have just been posted over here. It looks like, unofficially, Riley Downey loses the championship by 5 points. However, I have worked out all of the drop bonus points, and I am going to say we are just trying to work it out at the moment, and it looks like there is some discussion about it. But unofficially right now, I think it's 437 each, as we are trying to figure out who has won this championship, as Checkers has done some points the wrong way around. If that's the case, it could be 1 point between them. But I think my bonus points are correct here, which means that we are looking at 437 points each. As I'm just going to take a picture and post what my count is on the Discord and see what we've got here, because this is an interesting one to end it. Because of the way the point system works, we can't just have a very quick result. It's very much a work it out result, as I have posted, and we'll see what comes back. But that is my count, is the fact that they are tied in the championship standings here. So this is incredible right now. However, we are going to finish this season here, of course, at Oschersleben, and what a season it has been. If you want... Oh, here we go. Riley, 3, 6, 22, 20, plus 8. Plus 8, not plus 6. 10, 25, 14, plus 6. But that still puts them tied, but then qualifying. We're trying to work this out. This is live number crunching between myself and Ian Lane, the organizer of the league here. As I've just shared my number crunching, comparing it to number crunching, it looks like I made a mistake. I didn't add 2 points to either, so they are tied on 439, I believe. I think it's 439 tied apiece. I think they are tied. I think losing. I think they're tied. This is genuinely a debate now going on in the Discord about the points of who won this championship. I need to figure this out now. I'm looking at my points. I might be wrong. That's 5. 14. Oh, they tied for positions gained in race 2. No, they didn't. Which means if it's overall, we're debating here. It looks like Jared Swaim wins. Okay, so it looks like Jared Swaim wins the championship. 441 points to his name because he finished P8 overall. He finished in 8th place overall, which means that he gained the 6 bonus points in the last moments of the race. If he hadn't moved up to 8th overall, the championship would have been tied. But what a crazy end to that one, which means that in Division 2, your Season 2 champion is Jared Swaim. What a fantastic way to end that. All that number crunching proving that at the end of that all, it comes down to the very end of it. 36 races. No, I can't do math. Yeah, 36 races these drivers all competed in of the 48 this season. And after 36 races, 2 points was all that was in it between your D2 winner, Swaim, and second place, Riley Downey. If Downey did not drop down in race 1 for those for the pit lane to refuel, he would have taken this championship. It all comes down to the small mistakes. What a brilliant season this has been, and we are sure to be back for season number 3 because this has been absolutely brilliant. We will get the full upload of this event uploaded tonight if you have missed any of the racing tonight. We will also get the extended highlight video out before the end of next week. And coming up on the horizon, we will get our second ever full send as we review season number 2 of the Renault Clio League. That is on the horizon, so be sure to head across to the Beehive Built YouTube channel and subscribe to that so you are notified when it is published. Also, go across to the Beehive Built Broadcasting.com website and you can check out all of the previous races as well. And if you are new here on our Twitch channel, then be sure to hit that follow button so you are notified when we go live when season 3 returns. We have got more events coming away on Beehive Build before the end of this year. However, we have got the back half of the Matt Malone Patreon League coming up on Saturdays, so we continue to fill your Saturdays. And on Tuesdays, starting this Tuesday, we have got the Next Gen Mazda MX-5 Cup for its second season of competition as well. We will see you in the next ones. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this season just as much as I have enjoyed broadcasting it. And I will see you in season number 3. Goodbye.